You're watching Network Africa, coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. I am Adeshewa Josh. You can get all our top stories on our website at channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To view us on your mobile device, log on to m.channelstv.com, especially for our viewers outside of West Africa. All you need to do is log on to m.channelstv.com and you can watch us live on your laptop and mobile device. We advise you to download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. Well, the quest for a better life in Europe has ended abruptly for 15 migrants who were reportedly killed in the northern Sinai Peninsula. Their bodies were found by Egyptian police, who say they appeared to have been shot dead by unknown assailants. Unconfirmed reports also say most of the victims were Sudanese. It is not yet clear who attacked the group near the town of Rafah on the border with Gaza. Well, there is, however, constant tension in that area where the Egyptian army is trying to crush an insurgency by the Islamic State IS militants. 8 migrants were found alive but wounded in the incident also on Sunday. Meanwhile, at least 7 refugees have also been killed in Mogadishu after an argument that ensued between rival Somali security forces. The security forces opened fire while people queued for food at a camp of internally displaced people. And now to my question. Why do many Africans go through the horror of either crossing the Mediterranean or even the desert in a bid to get to Europe? As statistics show that the number of African migrants to Europe has more than doubled in the last 10 years. The Frontex agency reported that the sea crossing between North Africa and Italy is where most of the increase of illegal immigrants attempt to reach the European Union shores are recorded. For the period January to April this year, 42,000 migrants were detected on the route from North Africa to Italy. 25,650 of these migrants had crossed from Libya and combined with 7 other routes. The total figure of illegal African migrants, immigrants that is, reaching Europe for the year so far is approximately 60,000. Now, the sad part is not every migrant that makes it into Europe is guaranteed a better life than what they left behind. But research shows that most of them spend nothing less than 1,500 euros to get to Europe, monies that could be put to good use in their various countries. Now, joining me on Network Africa is Dean Chooks, an African migrant who left the shores of Nigeria to make it to Algeria. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Network Africa.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good evening.
Oh, the first thing I'm going to ask you is to describe your journey through the desert from Nigeria to Algeria, where you are right now.
It was a very dangerous journey. But you have to cross through the desert for days or weeks. Very dangerous. In fact, if we had known that that's how the route is, most of us wouldn't have taken such a desperate journey. But I could say I was lucky anyway. I was not really going to Europe. I was only going for treatment. I was having some fracture which I could not afford the bill in my country. So I had to move to the Arab nation where they say everything is for free. Like medical services here is free, whether government or private. That was why I came here. But at the same time, I've been seeing people passing by to other parts of Africa, which is Morocco, close to Algeria. That is the easiest route to Spain. And another route again to Libya, which can lead them to Italy. Many people, which I personally met in Algeria, some are in Italy now in camp, and some are dead. Very dangerous in the desert. People do die in the desert. Maybe lack of water, dehydration, and the rest of it. People die, and there are also bandits in the desert route. So if you are not lucky, some of them will stab you and make away with all your funds.
So tell me,
It has
how
been
long did it take you to get to Algeria? How long did you spend in the desert to get to Algeria?
I passed through Niger. I passed through Niger. Let me say 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Did you trek or did you drive?
No, it's transportation. You pass through the border lines. There are these desert jeeps. There are these desert jeeps in the desert which do convey passengers through their desert route to their borders. From there you get to state by state till you get to where you are going to.
Okay,
And
so
most people that do, hello?
I'm listening to you, and our viewers are listening to you. And let me ask you, how difficult was it to settle down where you are right now? It took you 2 weeks of horrific traveling through the desert. According to you, you needed medical attention, and it was free. You were told it was free where you were going to. How difficult was it to settle, where you are?
Let me say, in Nigeria here, we have, where I reside here, we have Nigerian Union, which is all the states in Nigeria have consulars and the ambassador. Each state, they appointed a union that takes care of people when they come. So I believe when I came into Algeria, I met the union president, who happens to be my tribal person. So he now accommodated me, and along the line, I did not really want to go for the treatment since I was able to get a good job. So I decided to start doing something maybe later along the line. I'm not really, it's not really that serious. I cannot move around. So it took me about 8 months before I settled down now.
How long have you been there, and how much did it cost to get to Algeria?
It depends. Sometimes most of these immigration officers and policemen, some of them do extort us because they know we are desperate to travel. But it's about almost 80 to 100,000, if I'm not mistaken. But some people do pay more than that.
Right, finally, I'm going to ask you, what advice do you have for anyone who would like to make the same trip?
In fact, even here we meet some migrants from my country too, from Nigeria, who wants to travel to Europe. We do arrange money for them through the union and send them back, or if they have handwork, they can involve in 1 or 2 activities. My advice that it is very dangerous, mostly for women that do travel to prostitute. Most of them die in the desert. All these bandits in the desert do rape them and kill them. So I will not advise anybody to think. If anybody knows he wants to go to Europe, he should follow due process and go to the embassy and get visa. I think that would be better.
Finally, would you like to come back home someday?
Yeah, but very soon I'll be home. In fact, I love my home. I'll be home. I'm living fine here, and in my country too. I believe everything is in order. I'm not desperate to go to Europe. I'm comfortable here, and by God's grace, I want to come back home.
Chooks Dean, thank you so much for speaking to us on Network Africa.
Thank you very much.
And there are many more migrants out there still trying to make it to Europe. Let's take a short break on Network Africa. When we come back, crisis is brewing in Tunisia as 3 IS militants and a Tunisian soldier die in clashes near the Algerian border.